headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225 as we talk about you right in front of you. Wayne starts off this hour in Canada. Hi, Wayne. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thank you for taking my call. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Oh, Dave, a little bit nervous here, but we're going to get it out. Anyways, we had purchased one vacant lot. Again, just a vacant lot, lakeside, beautiful property. I ended up subdividing it, splitting it, putting it on the market. It's going to come on 2 years, probably October, end of this month, sorry, not quite 2 years. And again, we've had a little bit of an issue with that property being on the East Coast. Of course, we've had a hurricane, then we had a fire, then we had another hurricane, then we have interest rates, and we're struggling. Nothing's moving, of course, in the market there, and then where I am too also as well. We do have a loan on that property, and again, we're just paying the interest only on it. And we have an appointment with our accountant, but our accountant isn't a real estate person, and then our real estate person isn't a money person like yourself, Dave. So I would just like some advice on that. I could give you kind of a rundown of what we have.
Wayne, you're in the perfect place. I'm an expert on my opinion. All right. Awesome. So, how many lots did you end up with subdivided?
One lot was 5.2 acres, and the other one is 7.2 acres.
So 2 lots. So you bought a 12-acre tract and split it.
That's right.
Okay. And what are you asking for the lots?
So the one lot we plan on keeping. The other lot, we are asking $959 for it.
Are you keeping the larger one or the smaller one?
We're keeping the larger one.
Well, I would. All right. And it's a lake lot after all. And you got enough buffer there to keep the neighbors off of you. Life's good. Mm-hmm. So what do you owe on it?
$700.
Okay. And do you have $700,000 in cash and investments?
Yes, I can give you a rundown if you'd like.
Yes, please.
So combined, my wife and I, we have $2.2 million in investments. We have $700,000 in 2 other vacant properties that are in our hometown. We have a mortgage of $500K on our primary residence, which is worth $1.2. And we have no debt. We both have our emergency funds.
What's your household income?
Combined household income would be about $425.
Oh, cool. And how old are you two?
I'm 59 and a half, and my wife is turning 47.
Well, you guys are amazing. Well done. I mean, you're worth $3+ million. Congratulations. Approaching $4 million net worth. Well done at 59 years old. Ding, ding. A score. You're not bankrupt. You make $425,000 a year. You can survive this. Mm-hmm. So this is a philosophical money discussion almost, meaning that you have enough money that you really can't screw this up either way. You follow me?
Correct.
I mean, you can ride it out and sit on it and pay the interest, and someday it'll sell. Or you could cash out enough to pay off your house and pay off the lot, be 100% debt-free, and be $1.2 million less in investments. But now you've transferred your investments into your personal residence and into some lake lots, and that way you're not a motivated seller anymore, because you almost sound like you're emotionally motivated. And let me tell you, there's only one time you make money in real estate, and that's when you sell it.
Correct.
So when you sell it, you cannot be a motivated seller. And sometimes you can be motivated by finances, but other times you can be motivated by disgust, like 3 hurricanes, a fire, and interest rates.
Correct.
Like, crap. My plan to clear this lot by splitting this off and selling the other one was such a good plan. Crap. That's a motivated seller. You follow me?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
Okay. I think the way you make money in real estate is you chill. And the best way to chill is just reach over and pay that sucker off. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and pay my house off.
Was the plan, Wayne, for you to sell those 2 vacant properties to grab the $700,000 so you can buy the tract of land that you want to keep?
No, when he sells off the other lot, it sells for $900,000.
Yeah.
And it's going to pay off the $700,000. He's going to clear the first lot.
But he's also got 2
then
other
he's got
vacant
the other
properties.
2 tracts. They're just an independent issue. You could sell those if you want to.
That would get him to where he wants to go.
You might rather have. I mean, are they going up in value? Why are you holding those?
One's right next door to our primary residence, and we're just going to give that to our young son later on. Or again, that was just going to be just
that's a buffer.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's a keeper. Okay, what's the other one?
Yeah, the other one is it's going up in value because it overlooks the city and the lake, and another big lake too. So, and then part of that question was,
would you rather have that, or would you rather or would you rather just have less liquid cash? Because I just used 1.2 of your 2.2.
I think I just wanted to hear you say what you said, and I'm just going to ride this thing, ride it out. Because so far to date, we spent $72,000 in interest, right? Mm-hmm. And if we're getting $950, like I said, we're still ahead of the game.
The best time to sell something is when you don't want to or need to. Mm-hmm. Because you get the most for it. I mean, you got to have walkaway power. I'm at a minimum liquidating enough to pay that lot off.
The 2.2 in investments, is that retirement investments, or is some of it non-retirement?
He's 59 and a half.
Oh, I missed that part. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't have any penalty. I mean, it's Canada. It's different. But you don't have any penalties in Canada at 59 and a half either, do you?
No, that's right. No, you're correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've got you've got options. You've really just got to look and see what makes the most sense for you.
You can afford to hold it. What would I do if I woke up in your shoes? I'd pay my house off and the lot off tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'd have only $1 million left in investments. Oh, darn. Only $1 million. Did you hear I said that? Only $1 million left.
Winks.
But I'd have not a payment in the world. And the lot that's overlooking the city also goes up for sale, probably, if I'm you. And I'm probably not going to. I'd probably rather have the liquid than have that. But I'm getting rid of all the debt, and that just chills you. Mm-hmm. And then some goober comes along and says, okay, you're asking $995, but the market's slow and hurricanes and interest rates, and so I'm going to offer you $750, which pays off your loan, which they can look up at the courthouse and tell what your loan is. So, which is exactly what I would do where I'm buying the lot from you in a down market. I try to buy it for what you owe and just let you out of the trap. To heck with the cheese. But
Dave!
instead there's no trap. We just got rid of the trap.
That's great. I love that. Great strategy.
And so then you go, no, we're not going to take $750. I'll just wait. And I did that not long ago. And as soon as you call someone's bluff, the price goes up. There you go. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Jade Washall, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Sam's in Austin, Texas. Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How y'all doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Well, I'm calling because, I've, over the years, the last couple of years, we bought a house, things seemed to be going okay, and then we ended up getting kind of taxed on the actual build of the house, and that just kind of started a slippery slope where we started having to pay more than what our mortgage originally was, and we ended up relying on a lot of credit cards, and it got really bad. And right now, I'm especially in collections for a lot of cards, and my wife has a few. She was sued. I've got a case coming as well. And I just don't really know where to turn or how to turn this around. It almost seems kind of hopeless.
Sorry, Sam. How much credit card debt is there total?
Probably around 15 to 16,000.
And how much income do you guys bring in every month?
Every month, about 6,000.
Mm-hmm.
How much is your house payment?
2,100.
Okay. How much are your car payments?
And we only have one car payment, and it's $250. And as far as like the mortgage, it's when we were being taxed on the improvement after about a year of having a lower payment, it was about $2,700. And now we're down to, I finally paid off the overage on the escrow, and now the $2,100 is about normal.
Okay. All right. And what do you guys do for a living?
I'm in technical support, and she works in a dental office.
Okay. Your mortgage is high. Your car payment all car payments are bad. This one's not super bad. Yeah. The credit cards are. The way you were talking, I thought you were going to tell me you had $100,000 in credit card debt. The weight that you're emotionally carrying, listening to your voice. I'm pleasantly surprised it's only 15.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think the mortgage being a third of your take home is really what's.
And it was higher than that for a while. But even that, where else are you guys just disorganized and you were living in panic and money's just flying out of there and you had no idea where it was going?
That's a pretty good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because, I mean, your numbers aren't as bad as they don't indicate you should even be behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree with you there, because when I sit there and kind of add up numbers and look at it that way, I look at it and I'm like, okay, this is.
How many kids have you got?
We have 5 total.
Oh,
and how old are they?
They range from teenagers down to 7.
Okay.
How many are in daycare?
None. They're all in school.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well,
our oldest, she works, and but she just graduated high school.
Yeah.
But and the main thing is that I think what.
Okay, how many credit cards are you behind on?
Probably, I would say it's a pretty good number. Probably about 8 to 10.
Mm.
So there's a whole bunch of little ones.
Yeah.
And you're behind on almost all of them.
I've got 4 myself that
Okay, so you said 2 have gone to collections?
No, they're pretty much all in collections, but I have 4 that I've made a payment arrangements with, but 2 of them have filed lawsuits.
Yeah, you said your wife got sued on one of them, right?
Filed lawsuits.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. On how much?
Hers is a little bit over $3,000, and the same for mine.
Oh, man.
Okay, let me just tell you, you live in Texas. Am I got that right? Is that the truth?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, their lawsuit's useless. They can't garnish wages or take a lien on a house in Texas.
Right.
So it's just hanging. Their lawsuit's hanging out there in the ether. It's just dangling out there in the nothingness. There's nothing they can do about it.
Because with hers, we hired a lawyer, and they're working on the case.
Yeah.
Why?
It was the fear thing at the time.
I know.
That's the thing, Sam. Looking at the numbers that you've given us, maybe there's more debt out there that you haven't mentioned, but I think that you're way more. What you're feeling is way more emotional than it is financial. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got 12 credit cards. They're suing us. The kids are, it's like all these things going on. And if you just stop for a moment, if we really look at the numbers and look at the math, there's no reason that we can't list these from smallest to largest. Because like Dave said, most of them are probably lower balances because there's tons of them and they're only equaling up to 15 to 16,000. So my guess is that if you can just kind of pull all of this out of space, get it down on paper. Like I said, list them smallest to largest. Figure out what it looks like for you guys to get an extra $1,000 to $2,000 in every month, and you're knocking them out like dominoes. You're going to feel so much better.
How many cars do you own?
We have two that we use for getting the kids around. Our oldest son has his own that he uses for school.
And you bought it for him?
It was he's a stepson, and his dad gave it to him as a gift.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's just a little truck.
Okay. I'm just trying to find out what's going on here. All right. So what did this lawyer tell you he could do that the law has not already done for you in Texas? File bankruptcy?
They basically said that, no, they just basically said that they could either get the case dismissed or work out some type of low-risk settlement.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's all they offered.
Okay. Well, the case is not going to get dismissed. You owe the money. You lost.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You owe the money. You didn't pay it. You lose. Ding. Okay. Now, then can we settle it for less? Well, sure. It's $3,000. They can't collect it in Texas. Mm-hmm. So, of course, you can settle it for less. And you can do that with all. You can do that with all of these, by the way. And next time, don't use a lawyer. What did you pay the lawyer?
$750.
Okay. I sure hope he gets $750 off the balance. At least earns his keep. I don't know how he took your money in good conscience, but all right.
Now, the main thing I worry about is because I've heard that I understand they can't garnish my wages, but they could take it from my bank account.
Not unless you give them access to your bank account.
Well, they can take a lien on it. They can take a lien on it in Texas. That's true. Well, don't keep. If you got a bunch of money in your bank account, I guess we pay the bills, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't at the time, but at the current moment. But working on this here and building up, that.
No, I'm just saying if there's $10,000 in your bank account, you wouldn't have called me.
Yeah.
So you don't have any money in your bank account, so it's not a big fear.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, what we've got to do is A, get organized and get a very detailed plan, and B, let's prioritize. First thing is house is paid, or food, then house, then lights and water, then car. Are you behind on the car? No.
No.
Okay, good. Stay current on the car. Go to work. And we're going to get you on an every dollar budget with Jade and put you in one of her webinars. When's your next webinar?
Oh, gosh. It's not till November. I don't know that we have an exact date for mine.
We'll get you plugged into an every dollar webinar so you can learn how to do a budget with your wife. And we'll put you into Financial Peace University, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to take care of food, shelter, clothing, transportation, and utilities first. You've got the money to do that. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to force rank these things and work them through. And lump sum settlement, all of them, each, smallest to largest. I'm not paying payments on them anymore. I'm going to lump sum settlement. You're behind. The lawsuit is got no teeth where you live. Okay? So just argue with them and say, I'm broke. I owe you $3,000. You say it's $5,000 after you added a bunch of fees. Mm-hmm. I have $2,000. If you'll take that and give me that in writing, that's a settlement in full. Remember that phrase. And no electronic access to your checking account. As Jade said, they will never know where your checking account is. But settlement in full, in writing. And then I'll send you $2,000. Oh, you won't do that? Did you know there's 9 other credit cards that will? Mm-hmm. One of them's going to take the money. I got you on the phone. Last chance. Going once, going twice. I'm going to the next card. Okay, second card. Here's what we're going to do. I just hung up on the other guy because he's an idiot. Let's see if you are. All right, and we're going to settle this. Going once and going twice.
That's right.
And you're going to work your way through this. And then you cycle back through after you finally get one to take the money. Then you pile up a little more money, and you start the whole process again. Remember last time I called you when you didn't take the deal? You sure you don't want to take it? Because I'm here with another deal, and I'm getting ready to go on to the second one. Going once, going twice. And this is how you deal with these people, because credit card collectors are scum. You can tell they're lying if their mouth is moving. So beat the snot out of them and get this cleaned up. That's what you do. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Y Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for hanging out with us, America. Jade is my co-host today. And we mentioned you're going to be doing the Every Dollar webinars with that last caller on budgeting. Your next one is not till November, you said.
That's right.
A couple weeks away. Rachel Cruz is doing them. George Camel is doing them. Mm-hmm. If you want to go to a free Every Dollar budgeting webinar, they're going to show you how to do this. Go to everydollar.com/budgeting because, Jade, when you're, it sounded like with him, with those credit cards, he's got the money to pay them. He's just disorganized, and the budget is literally a way to get organized.
Yeah, that's exactly it. When you don't have a plan for your money, it just feels like it's chaos. Money's going out, it's going in all directions. You don't know where it's going, but when you have the piece of a budget, you get to see how every dollar is being spent, and it helps you identify those problem areas.
Well, 100% of the time that you put your income that you have for the month at the top and you start deducting basic necessities out, you will feel like you got a raise.
Yeah, we see that.
Because you're like, where is this money going? And I don't know where it's been going. Well, it doesn't matter where it's been going. All that matters now is that it starts going to where it should be going on purpose, intentionally. You know, too many people go ready, aim, 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 aim,
That's
aim,
right.
aim, fire. You got to pull the trigger. And you got to, you're going to hit what you aim at. And if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Zig Ziglar said that. And he's exactly right. And so John Maxwell says a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went.
That's perfect.
And that's, again, you feel like you got a raise. You have a sense of control. Even if you can't pay everything, you get a sense of peace because you know that you can pay the things you have to pay, like food,
yes,
and lights and water and house payments. And, oh, well, I got this one MasterCard I can't get to this month. Okay, then we got to sell something. We got to get an extra job. It starts to you start to solution almost immediately.
Yeah, and you get that sense of power over you making the choices instead of it just happening to you, right?
And the other thing that happens is when you got that much financial stress with 8 credit cards or 9 credit cards and they're all behind and 2 of them are in lawsuits, that much financial stress in the house, 100% of the time, it takes an effect on your marriage.
Oh, 100%. I can vouch for that.
Me too.
All those in favor.
It was this moment in our marriage that Sharon realized she had married Goober, not Sir Galahad. So there we go. She realized I screwed up. I picked poorly.
Oh man,
that's what she had decided at this point. But yeah, I mean it takes away your self-confidence. It puts terror in the relationship.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing good about being out of control.
No, nothing good. And I could hear in that last caller in his voice, and what I heard in his voice was a sound I'd heard in Sam's voice.
Yeah, I heard it in mine. I can, it's like there's this like this uncertainty,
fear,
a little fear creeping into the uncertainty.
And
it's
there's
like,
that guilt. It's like.
So I went and got a lawyer, and the lawyer said, "Oh, I'll take your money." I mean,
Oh, man.
asking I was really surprised he didn't say file bankruptcy, because asking a bankruptcy attorney if you're bankrupt is like asking a dog if it's hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh, yes, of course you're bankrupt. You came here, didn't you?
That's good to mention, Dave, because people get scared when credit card companies say, I'm going to sue you and we're filing a lawsuit. And your first thought is, well, I better lawyer up too. But you do owe them the money.
Like this is a movie.
Yeah.
This is not a movie.
Yeah.
You are not on trial. Mm-hmm. The fact that you didn't pay a credit card is on trial. And let me tell you, folks, here's what happens, okay? You ought to actually, you've probably never done this. Have you ever gotten a speeding ticket?
I have gotten one speeding ticket.
Did you go to traffic court?
I did go to, and it meant nothing. I had to pay that ticket.
They still charge you anyway. But traffic court is a little bit like a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, you go in, the judge goes, okay, you 17 people that came in here that are here, that this is your first offense, go to school or we'll just waive it or whatever they do, okay? And it's like, and you're all geared up like you got your arguments in your head.
Yeah.
And it was foggy and the officer
I forgot my glasses, Your
smelled
Honor.
alcohol on his breath. And you have all these things in your head, right, that you're going to say. And the judge is like yawns and goes, dismissed, 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 dismissed. And it's anticlimactic.
Well, why did I have to pay mine?
Why? I don't know. That's a personal problem. But
let me get on the dismissal list.
I don't know. I have my theories, but I'm not going to bring it up. It could be that you were driving 200 miles an hour. But
no, Dave,
but
never
not
that.
Not me. But the Sam's going to tell me the truth later. But the seriously though, when you go to small claims court or a small claim, even if it's not technically called small claims court, and you go in and the attorney is suing you for $3,000 on a credit card, here's what happens, folks. The attorney shows up with a two-wheeler. He's got so many files. And there's like 1,000, literally, cases on that judge's docket this morning. And the judge is going to go, bump, on all of them, except the 3 people that show up. And the judge is going to go, you guys go out in the hall with the attorney and cut a deal.
Interesting.
It's so lame and anticlimactic. Because here's the deal. If you owe someone money and you have signed a contract like a credit card agreement to pay them money and you didn't pay them the money, there's only one possible result of the lawsuit. You lose the lawsuit because you didn't pay them.
Yeah.
You're in violation. I mean, showing up and going, I tried, Your Honor, is not a defense. I lost my job, Your Honor, is not a defense. I got cancer. It doesn't matter. You didn't pay the bill, didn't pay the bill. That's all that matters. If you got proof you paid it, that'd be the only time.
That's right.
And they've done the accounting wrong or something. That'd be the only time you could possibly win the lawsuit. But if you haven't paid the bill, you lose.
That's right.
Now, then what happens? Nothing.
Yeah, the only consolation is you can settle for
Then you go
less.
back, now you settle the lawsuit instead of settling the credit card debt. Whoopee. It's such a... we get this emotion built up because the collector's like, we are going... They play music in the background. Boom, boom, boom.
Everything's in
We
big,
are
bold red
going to
letters.
sue you. And you're going, no, please. Anything. Don't sue me, please. Anything. I'll do anything.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they want.
That is true. It's all emotional. We think Perry Mason is about to come in there and prosecute us.
Mason. You were watching reruns as a kid. Wow. I would have at least gone Matlock. That's two decades later.
There you go, Matlock. I'll take
Matlock's, that one. But both of them are dead, I'll just saying. But, oh my gosh. There's not a modern day lawyer thing, is there? Oh, yeah.
No.
There's got to be
Suits.
like Law and Justice. L.A. Law.
L.A. Law. There you go.
But
that's
those
pretty old,
guys
too.
were characters themselves. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, there's nothing like that going on. This is not a courtroom drama.
Right.
It's a factory that produces lawsuits very efficiently. Boom, you're done. Just like that. Just like stamped out another widget and you be it. So just chill about the lawsuit. It's not, I don't want you to get sued. You don't want to get sued. But if I can't settle it and they're going to take me to, no, don't worry about it. Just keep working it. Yeah. If you pay them money, they're going to go away.
That's right.
Until you pay them money, they're not going to go away. You owe them money. That's how this works.
But they don't like to settle. You do have, like, before you even get to all this, you have to call so many times to get them to take your deal.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. They love to settle. They don't like to settle easily.
There you go. That's even better.
They want to milk as much out of the deal as they can milk because they finally found a cow. Because usually they can't even find the cow. It's just loose. It's running around in the country somewhere. They can't find the cow. But if you show up and they go, oh, I got a cow. I'm going to milk this as far as I can.
Man.
That's what they're doing. So, they love to settle because they bought these debts usually pennies on the dollar if they're a debt buyer on old bad debts. And they probably got a nickel on the dollar in it. So on $3,000, they probably got $150 in it. That's what they paid for the debt. So will they settle that?
They will.
Do they like to settle? Oh, yeah. It's their whole thing. Because you think about all the cows that got loose. We just got one. We're going to milk it. Maybe we can get $1,000 out of this $3,000, and it'll pay for 10 of the other cards that I can't even find the cow. It just disappeared because I got one that showed up here. So they'll work with you, folks. You just got to get up in their face. But you've got to get organized. You've got to get on a budget. You have to buy your food for your children first. Your lights and water and your shelter second and third before you do anything else. Don't talk to me about I settled a credit card and now we don't have any food.
Right.
No. MasterCard not that important. They not the master. They just the card. That's it. No, you work it. It's a system. It's a process. For them, it's all business. For you, it's all emotions.
That's right.
You get the emotion out of it when you lay it out on a plan. Use the EveryDollar app and get your crap together and get this mess cleaned up. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ryan's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Great, and yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hi, so me and my wife are on baby step 6 right now. And my dad's uncle recently approached us about buying a 40 acres up on our family land up north. And we're debating if it's worth going back to baby step 2 or not.
So you're saying that you would go back into debt to get this land as opposed to pay off your current home?
Correct. For a short period of time.
How much is the land?
$40,000, $1,000 an acre.
And where is it? How far away from you?
An hour north of here.
And you want it for what?
We use it for hunting. I mean, our whole family it's been in our family our whole life. So we got 300 acres up there that we family share.
And this 40 acres is part of the 300?
Correct.
So what happens if you don't buy it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Does your uncle want to keep it? He wants to sell it to somebody else in the family, or he's going to hold it, right?
Well, thing is he's tight for money, so he wants the money. It's worth about $250,000 to $275,000.
Is there anyone else in the family?
Oh, wait a minute. The 40 acres that is hunting land is worth $250,000?
Correct.
This is not hunting land anymore. Not at that price. I mean, deer meat is not that big a deal, dude. This is expensive deer meat. I mean, you're paying like $80,000 an ounce here. You know, I mean, seriously, this is not hunting property's cheap property. $250,000. What? I mean, this must have some proximity to this is not out in the country somewhere. This is close to town.
Well, that's what it's worth. Like I said, we would be buying it for only 40. So.
Something's wrong with this equation, okay? Either this is not hunting property, that it is close to a metro area, or it's not worth that. Because hunting land, you don't pay $250,000 for 40 acres to hunt on.
Well, up here it is.
Well, you don't have the money to buy it right now. That's what let's go back to that. I would not go back to baby step 2, and I would not pull out debt on this.
Let's just pretend I could buy something that's worth $250 for 40, and I don't have the 40. I can't buy it. Let's just pretend that all of that is accurate, okay? I can't buy something I don't have the money for. Now, he wants the money now because he's hard up for money. So I guess another relative is going to do this deal. If you have something you can cash in or sell your truck.
Yeah, you could do that.
Get you a hoopty, get rid of your $30,000 truck, and then, go a big garage sale, work 6 jobs and close on it, and by end of the year, and pay him cash. Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm calling BS. Okay, there's something wrong with this. I bought real estate my whole life. I own several $100 million worth of real estate. I've got a 250-acre farm in that mix. Okay, and dude, no way. You don't buy stuff to hunt deer on for $250,000.
Yeah,
not
crazy.
even in Michigan, not even in Wisconsin, wherever you are. Oh my God, no. Unless you pay cash, I wouldn't do it. You do whatever you want to do, Ryan. But that's what we tell people. It's a toy, and extra properties and second homes are toys.
Yeah, pay cash.
And you pay cash for them. And even if it's a good deal, it's not a good deal if you can't afford it.
Yeah.
The shirt is half off, but I got no money. It's not a bargain. Shirt's not half off.
That's right.
Didn't get the shirt. It's the same deal. I mean, it's not a bargain when you can't afford it. So, and I just hear rationalization and nope. Don't believe it. Joe's in Youngstown, Ohio. Hey, Joe, what's up?
Hey, Dave, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I am about $130,000 in debt.
On what?
And a lot of it is, the majority is my truck and my wife's car.
Which is how much each?
The truck is $40,000, and the wife's car is at $15,000.
Okay. So you're the problem. Okay.
What else?
Well, that is a lot of the fun.
Sorry, I went straight to it. But go ahead.
It's only $30,000 a year right now.
You said 30,000?
What?
Yes.
Your income is $30K?
Yes.
And whose income is that? Is that just one or the other, or is that both of you combined?
That's just me. My wife is a stay-home mom right now.
How many kids?
3.
Okay, what's the rest of the $130,000?
Okay, so I own a home in PA that I don't live at. I have it on land contract, which was a mistake.
You sold it on land contract? Or you bought it on land contract?
I sold it on land contract.
Okay.
So that one is still $15,000 on the mortgage and $28,000 on the line of credit. That was with that.
Is the payment coming in enough to cover those two?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the purpose of a land contract. All right. So right now, that's a break even. It's not your issue. Okay?
Right.
And that's 45 of the 130. Right? 90. So there's another 40. What's the other 40?
A lot of it is I was self-employed for quite a few years, and so I made some mistakes with some job estimations that I did. And so I owe quite a few metal companies a lot of money for metal.
And how long has it been since you paid them?
It's been months.
Okay.
Is it companies or company?
So you got $40K in vendor debt.
Yes, there's actually $31,800 precisely in building materials.
There's another $8,000 floating somewhere. What is it?
It is personal loans from small lenders and stuff for just.
What happened to your income? Because you used to make more.
I did. I quit my business because I was going through a struggle for a short period of time, and I decided that I'm just going to quit, go for a job, and it didn't work out. So I started a new company later, 2 years ago actually, and right now I am self-employed. I do commercial roofing, and it's just I have been struggling more than I have ever struggled with a business.
So here's my thing. And until your business is making you enough money to float your lifestyle, it's really just a hobby or a side hustle. And I commend you for starting that business, but it's not making enough money to manage your household bills, obviously. So you've got to treat it like a side hustle. That's got to be something you're doing on the side and building while you have a full-time job.
How long have you been doing that, the current business?
2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Jade's right. I mean, that thing should have been pushed to the side as a side hustle about 18 months ago.
I also work with another commercial roofing company that I work for like 2 to 3, sometimes 4 days a week.
I mean, that's great, but are you going to argue that $30,000 is fitting the bill right now? Because it's not.
No, absolutely not.
Is the 30 from your business, or the 30 is total of the two?
That's total of the two.
Yeah, you're not making enough. You used to make close to six figures, didn't you?
I have never made six figures. I mean, I think the most I ever made was $50,000. But
okay.
There's
two glaring things in your math that are going on.
Okay.
And part of what we do here is we have the advantage of not being in the forest, so we can clearly see the trees. Okay. The glaring things are you have two cars that you could never afford at any time in your life. They should never have been purchased. Both of them belong in the crazy column.
Agreed.
Nuts. Sell them both. Get two $2,000 cars. And then the second glaring area is your income.
Yeah.
You've got to do some things to get your income up short term and long term.
And I'd even be looking at the wife staying at home. I want to know how young those kids are, because it might be that she can go out and get some work as well.
Because you worked your tail end off.
Yes.
When you guys were getting out like crazy. Yeah. So yeah, income is one side of the equation, and two cars in the cray column is the other side of the equation. If you get those two things fixed, your life's going to shift very quickly in the good side.
That's right.
This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The phone number, if you want to talk, is 888-825-5225. Nikki is starting this hour in Miami. Hi, Nikki. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, how can we help?
So I was calling to see if I, in your opinion, can afford or should I buy a $1.5 million house?
Cool.
I know it sounds like a lot. It's not a lot in my area. It's actually, I would even say, a fixer-upper for 1.5, but it's in a great desired neighborhood for schools.
Okay, cool.
So I wanted your opinion if that's a move we should make at this point in our lives.
Absolutely. If you can afford, if you can afford it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my question. Can I afford such a big purchase?
So what's your household
income? We're a little complicated. Yes, so that's a complicated part. So my husband and I, we make $290,000.
Mm-hmm.
However, we do have rental properties. As soon as we turned 25, instead of having a big old wedding, we took our money and we bought our first investment property. We paid it off, moved on to the next one, paid that one off, and we've been building slowly. But
so two rental properties, free and clear.
Free and clear, yeah. We have 4 in total. We have 1 left to pay off out of the 4.
Can you tell me the first 3? Can you tell me what they're worth?
Of course. So the first one, we bought it for $200,000, and now it is worth $800,000.
Wow, good. What about the second one?
And my rental, my net cash every month is close to $2,000.
Okay.
After all expenses. My second property is paid off as well. Bought it for $250,000. Now it's worth $800,000.
Sweet. Way to go. What about
then
the third one?
Yes, then the third one also paid off, and right now it's currently worth $350,000.
And what do you owe on the one that's not paid off?
$330,000, and that one is worth around $700,000.
Okay. And is there any other debt that you have?
Just our cars. We owe between both of us $46,000 in cars. They're fairly new. We ended up buying them just a few months ago.
Anything else?
No student loan, no credit card, nothing like that.
You have any cash?
We do. We have about $150. And then aside from our income of $290, we also have our rental income, which nets to about $95,000 a year.
Yeah. So that's separate from the $290.
That's correct. That's in addition to.
Okay, and do you have any other investments?
No, just retirement 401k.
How much?
Close to $160.
How old are you guys?
I am 37 and my husband is 40.
Well, you've done extremely well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very
I learned
well
from
done.
my parents.
And you're fairly new to this Ramsey stuff, I think, aren't you?
I did. I started watching the show and your videos just a couple of weeks ago. And
as much money as you've got and as well as you've done, why do you care what we think?
Both of my husband and I were accountants. So we've done so far. We sacrificed so much in our 20s and 30s to get where we are. I don't want to make the wrong move over a dream. That is expensive. I don't want to do that.
The reason you built wealth, accountant, is to live the dream, not count the coin.
Correct.
Okay. So you're going to give up some of your rental income in order to live the dream. If I'm you, anyway. I've got a bunch of rental property. I love rental property. I love real estate. All of mine's paid for. I never borrow money for anything. My house is paid for. Everything's paid for. Everything's paid for. Everything's paid for. So I'm going to have you in a paid-for dream house by selling off some of your rentals if I'm doing your deal. Now, that makes you question whether you really want to do this or not, because now the accountant is fighting with the little girl who wanted a dream house. Now, who's going to win?
It is.
Well, look.
It is. We have discussed that option, but we don't want to let go. It's cash flow.
Yeah. It is, but would you rather strangers live in the paid-for house or you? That's the way I look at it. I'd much be willing to clear. I'd probably clear rental number 4 since there's debt on it anyway. I'd sell that one and get $300,000 cash.
And drop one of the 800s.
And then I'd drop one of the 800s.
And pay cash for this puppy.
And you're the one living in the paid-for house.
Not one of your renters.
No, makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny. I'm renting my houses out and I live in an apartment.
What do you live now? What do you live in now?
I rented all of my houses and I'm the one living in an apartment.
Wow.
Okay. And you're 37 and you're a 37-year-old multi-millionaire with an income approaching $500,000 a year.
And I'm still questioning what I should do. Yeah.
Well, listen, let me help you with this, okay? There's 3 things you can do with money, and you need to do all 3 all the time. Be generous with it, invest it, and enjoy it. You're only good at one, investing. And you are a world-class investor. But you suck at enjoying it.
That is true. Yes, my husband says the same thing. We had this conversation last night. I said Taylor Swift tickets are too expensive.
Oh, God! This has nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
But they better go see it. Y'all better go see that show.
How did Taylor Swift get in this conversation?
Because she put Kelsey on the map, Dave.
Oh, Jesus, Murphy. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord.
I'm just kidding.
It's too expensive. I can't pay for those tickets. What happened? And he asked me, what happens if your daughter will ask for it? he made me think at that point. I said, I got to think about it. I got to justify the
Yeah. So here's
yes,
what would I do?
Listen.
I teach people to get out of debt. I teach people to save. People that spend all the time. People that spend all of their money on fun and have no life, consequently, except of stress and problems. So most of the people we talk to, Jade and I, are on the other end. We're telling them grow up and quit being a child and quit having some fun. Enjoy, instead, have some generosity and some investing in your life. So I want you to insert some generosity in your life. You didn't talk about that. I'm not saying you don't have that, but I want to make sure it's there. And I want you to enjoy some of this money. Here's the deal. With the money that you make, if you sacrifice 1.5 rentals, the one that's paid for and the one that's not, and you get a nice home and you take a normal amount and start investing it from this point forward, you're going to be worth $25 to $30 million at retirement.
Wow.
That's where you're headed mathematically. And you're an accountant. You can do compound interest, and you know what it looks like. You have this fabulous income.
Yeah.
And better than that, you have this thing called self-control.
Yeah.
And discipline. I mean, you're weird. It's awesome. Yeah, but you need to go get you a good house, girl. You earned it. You earned it.
Did. Very good.
That's so fun. Way to go. Way to go, Nikki. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with the daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Today's question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services. When something in your home breaks, remember the Neighborly Done Right promise, which is, it's not done right until it's done right. That's cool. I like that. Download the Neighborly app today. Schedule your appointment. And, you'll get great service when you're working with Neighborly's network of home service providers.
That's right.
Great company. Yeah.
Today's question comes from Rachel in Missouri. She says, I've been listening to you for over 20 years, and I'm so grateful for your financial principles. My family is close to paying off our mortgage, and then we are completely debt-free. Will you please give perspective on our world events, talking about the Israel at war, etc.? What's the best advice to prepare financially for our own home, and how to invest with so much turmoil? This is an interesting question. Dave, I'll give my 2 cents on this. I'd love to hear your side of this. Rachel, things like this, whenever there's calamity, whenever there's uncertainty in the world, I think about COVID and all those things. I really go quickly to controlling what I can control. And in this case, like you said, you're close to paying off your mortgage, you're close to being completely debt-free. Do those things that you know to do and continue walking down that path. And And then for me, I just also have to accept, it's like in one hand, I control the things that I can control. And then on the other hand, I have to accept the things that I can't control. And one thing that I have found that helps me accept the things I can't control is I tend to want to lean into generosity a little bit. And then there's kind of just like, okay, I can't go overseas and I may not be the one that can save people, but I can be generous in my community. There's things that I can still do. So that's the way that I would approach that. And those are the two things that have given me peace in times like these. What about you, Dave?
No, that makes a lot of sense. Control the controllables. I mean, when we were in the Fauci pandemic, we didn't know what was going to happen. We'd never been in a Fauci pandemic before. You didn't know what to do, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you just kind of got to get in there and wind your way through. That one actually showed up in Missouri. I don't think Hamas is going to show up in Missouri. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure of that one. Mm-hmm. Might be wrong. I mean, sure as I say that, it'll be tomorrow, but I don't think so. I think you're probably okay. But then the question is, what do global events do to your investments? Well, if you're invested in the stock market, for instance, in your 401k, sometimes global events temporarily affect that. A scare in the Ukraine, a scare in Israel, a war in Israel, a war in the Ukraine, can affect stock market, usually fairly temporarily. Mm-hmm. Certainly an event in the homeland, an event in the United States proper would affect the stock market. But even 9/11, when the towers were attacked by those cowards, and they fell. And they fell, if you don't know, literally within blocks of Wall Street. The actual New York Stock Exchange is right there. Okay, you couldn't get to it for a day or two because of the rubble. And so, but also we traditionally shut down the stock market exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, and for that matter, the NASDAQ, which is in Chicago, will shut down trading during horrible events like an attack on American soil. We shut it down. Well, it was shut down. The 9/11 was on a Tuesday. Stock market didn't reopen until Monday. And as soon as it reopened, you know what it did? It dove 500 points in a matter of moments. You know what it did? And then it went down like for a week. Mm-hmm. It just kept going down. And everybody's like, "Oh, they've crashed the towers and they crashed the American economy." Mm-hmm. No, not even close. I kept telling people, "Look, buy. It's time to buy. It's going down. Buy. It's on sale. Buy." I don't want to take advantage of a calamity. That's not the point. But the market's going down. This is not the time to sell. It's the time to buy. Mm-hmm. Because 54 days later, it returned to where it was,
which nobody talked about,
and never made a single news headline. But the news headline, big, bold across the front page of the local liberal pamphlet we have that's called a newspaper, and big bold letters, stock market crashes following terrorist attack. You know how much coverage they gave it when 54 days later it completely returned? Zero. Not one mention, not one anywhere. Even CNBC, which is supposed to report on business, didn't report it. Even Fox Business didn't report it because Fox Business was not in existence then. So there. And, but there you go. That's how this world event things work. So what you do is you keep buying.
So, Dave, you
all the
say...
time. You just keep buying the rest of your life. You keep buying until it's time for you to sell. You do not buy or sell based on world events because they always have a temporary impact.
So we always say here that when you're investing, you're spreading it over 4 types, right? Growth and income, aggressive growth, international. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've heard you say international is kind of like the wild child, right?
No, it's the weak spot.
That's the weak spot. Yeah. And that is because...
those economies have not done as well.
Right. And we know that.
Overall, in the United States, foreign stocks as a category have not kept up with U.S. stocks as a category.
But there's a reason you have it.
For the last 40 years.
There's a reason that it's still a quarter of the strategy.
Exactly, because there are times that things like a BMW or a Mercedes, were they still owned by Germans? They're not now. Mm-hmm. But were they, think of a foreign company, then there's a bunch of them that you ingest and do business with every day and don't think anything about it. But their stock then is considered a foreign stock. Mm-hmm. And so there's times that they're going to prosper, sometimes on the back of the U.S. economy.
That's true.
But there's still that profit is from a foreign goes to a foreign company then. So it's not a patriotic issue; it's a math thing. And so You just keep investing. You just keep investing, Rachel. And I got to tell you, if you're worried about a paid-for house in Missouri because of the war in Israel, you need to turn the television off.
Yeah, that's true.
You're watching it too much because your reality is getting distorted as to what the real effect is going to be on your life.
Absolutely.
No one is happy about Israel being attacked. Well, some people are happy, but I mean, none of the people around me or people like me are happy about it. We're all horrified with what's going on. It's absolute evil. But from a financial or economic perspective, a year from now, it'll be a distant memory. From a political perspective, 10 years from now, it'll be a history note in a book. That's all it'll be, just a note.
That's true.
Like the 1967, 1972, same dates at Israel, right? Same thing, just a note in the history book.
Yeah.
And so, but while you're living in it, it's a real thing. And so, but you can't get caught up in things that are happening somewhere else. Control the controllables.
Yeah. It's tough. I think the way the world is, there's social media, there's 24-hour a day network news, right? And it's constantly feeding us the worst possible things happening in society. And if we don't put boundaries around that, we will destroy our brains. Like we will be in fear 24/7.
Yeah, it's a 24/7 news cycle, 24/7 fear cycle. It's fear porn. And, not to say that the Israel thing is not real.
Of course.
It is obviously real. It's obviously horrid. It's a tragedy. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
It's all of those things. But is it going to affect Rachel in Missouri? No. Other than pray for.
I was going to say.
Pray for peace in Jerusalem.
Yep. Other than the way that we can show compassion. Yep.
That's all you can do. Hey, thank you. Thank you for your question, Rachel. Open phones at 888-825-5225. By the way, there's lots of information on the stock market history that is very intriguing when you dig into it. One piece of information I saw in one of the brochures one time is if you had invested at the worst possible day in the stock market in the last 5 years, and you did that every 5 years, you would have so much money.
The worst possible day. Yeah, because
you were
everything's
buying at the bottom.
Yeah, cheap.
And you say, okay, this is the horrible thing that happened. Right after 9/11, if you had invested, right? If you had invested after, Black Monday in 1987, which the market just dove like 20% in one day. It was crazy. It's a weird day. If you'd invested on the worst possible days, if you'd invested at the highest possible days, how much money you'd have. And it's still a lot of money.
Something.
So the point of the chart or the illustration is keep investing, keep investing, keep investing. The only people that get hurt on a roller coaster are those that jump off in the middle of the ride. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Derek is in Salt Lake City. Hi, Derek. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jade.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm getting married in less than 2 months.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. She has about $23,000 of consumer debt. I do not have any debt outside of my mortgage. So my question to you is, should I stop baby steps 4, 5, and 6 and save up to be able to pay off her debts after the wedding, or should I continue 4, 5, and 6 till after the wedding?
So you don't have $23,000 cash now?
I do, yes.
Okay, why would you need to save up then?
I'm currently finishing my basement, and so I'm doing that debt free, and so I'm only going to have about $15,000 left.
And is she contributing any to this $23,000?
She's working to pay it off right now, but when we get married, the lion's share will still be there.
Okay, so you've got $15,000 that you can put towards it.
Yeah, I would. Yes, to answer your question, I would stop my 401k and go ahead and get ready for the post-honeymoon debt freedom. Mm-hmm. And then make sure you have a fully funded emergency fund, and never dip into your emergency fund for anything, and that includes fixing a basement, which is by definition not an emergency. And then we will, after we have an emergency fund in place, we'll restart and put 15% of our new household income into retirement plans of some kind.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's just adjusting both of your lives to fit the post-marriage baby steps. Agreed?
Definitely.
Yeah, you were on track. You knew what we were going to say already, but you just want to make sure that the nuance was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a couple more questions for him. I wanted to know if he was spending his emergency fund to do his basement.
Well, he had $23,000. He's going to be down to $15,000.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I don't know how far, that's what I said. You got to make sure the emergency fund's in place and the basement's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's we went from this real noble, I'm going to pay off my fiance's debt after we're married, to I'm finishing my basement.
Yeah, your face was priceless.
What? Finishing my basement. Yeah. All right. And there's that. Okay. How are these in the same sentence? But, all right. Yeah, that's good. That's okay.
Maybe she wants the basement finished.
Yeah, it's okay. Nothing's wrong with what he's doing. It just caught me off guard because it was like a hard left turn.
It was.
Morgan is in Sacramento. Hey, Morgan, what's up?
Hi, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Yay. I am calling because I have been a homeschooling stay-at-home mom for the past 18 years, and my kids have just gotten old enough now to where I am working part-time, and we're trying to figure out what to do with my added income. Some of it is going to help make ends meet with inflation and all that fun going on, but we still have an abundance beyond that. And so we're trying to figure out how to, in comparison with elevating our lifestyle with paying off the mortgage.
So you're on baby step 6?
I think so.
Awesome. So that would mean for anybody listening, you have no other debt other than the mortgage. You've got 3 to 6 months set aside for expenses in an emergency fund.
Yep.
And you're investing 15% of your income before taxes. And then are you putting aside anything into 529s or anything like that for the kids' college?
No, that stuff is all taken care of.
How?
Okay.
How? How's it taken care of?
Oh, wow, I'm sorry. I thought you said wow. I said, yeah. My oldest was given a 529 already and has done scholarships and is working her way through. So this is her first year. And we also have relatives that are helping along the way and are able to help. But we just really feel strongly, too, about our kids' work ethic and being able to put themselves through. We live in an area, too, that has a state school and a community college. And here in California, community college is paid for by taxpayers. So there's just a lot of support.
So they're able to go without debt. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're contributing nothing.
Debt-free. Yeah, correct.
Okay. So taking care of means that you think they have a plan.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I just wanted to know what you meant. Okay.
Yeah.
And, all right, so I get it. That's been the plan. They're homeschool, and that's been the plan all along, and they know that. They're not surprised by it, and you're actually coaching them and showing them how to do this debt-free, I hope, and without mom and dad's support and with the support of some relative money coming from some relatives. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, I mean, there's two things to do with the overage then. It'd be baby step 6, as you said, put it on your house or enjoy it. How much overage have you got?
Probably about $1,000 a month.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
Little things like my daughter this year asked if she could have new soccer shoes instead of used soccer shoes. Things like that. Like I really would like to do, and what we actually did do. For my birthday, we bought a table at a banquet for a charity event for people, and that was so much fun to be able to do that. My husband likes to buy dinner if we ever go out with friends. So, nothing huge, I guess. I mean, but then that's what we're thinking, like, oh, maybe we could save up and go to next year's money and marriage event, things like that are super exciting.
What I would say, this is what Sam and I do. And we came up with this because we have variable income. And every month the question is, what do we do with this extra income? And finally we got to the point where it's just a percentage. And we know this percentage is going towards a mortgage. Whatever it is, this percentage goes towards something fun we want to do, and this percentage goes towards giving. And that kind of takes all of the guesswork out of it. It kind of takes the tendency to maybe leave something that's important out, and so that you can do something else. And that way it's like, okay, we're covering every base every time there's extra money. And that's one strategy you could utilize with this, because I do want you to be intentional about paying off your mortgage, because it is part of the process, and it's very important for you to do that in order to build wealth. But like Dave said, it's extra, right? And you don't have to be so intense about it. I just want you to be intentional, so you do have the opportunity to give some or save some as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a great formula. And so it might sound like we're going to put 50% of all overage towards the mortgage. We're going to splurge with 40% of the overage, and we're going to give an additional 10 for generosity out of it, or whatever. You can switch those numbers around, or you can have different numbers. But obviously, out of $1,000, then I'd put $500 towards a mortgage, or $500, whatever that percentage tells you. And that's exactly how Sharon and I do it as well. We increase our lifestyle by a very small percentage on all overage. We increase our generosity and our investing by a large percentage on all overage. But we're blessed in that our income is so freaking ridiculous that a small percentage is a great for life. So, our lifestyle increasing a small percentage is not a small dollar. So it's
right.
Good. Well, we just don't need to spend that much. It's just nuts. And we still have a crazy good life.
You do. You do. I think people do fear lifestyle creep, though.
Yeah, but if you don't, you should fear it.
Yeah.
Because because if you don't learn to control how much you spend on your consumption, you will consume all of it the rest of your life, no matter what you make. And people would make $15 million, buy $15 million worth of stupid stuff then,
That's called mo money, mo problems.
That's it. And that's mo immaturity, So it just keeps growing, right? But yeah, I think you just got to, but the formula gives you permission to enjoy the portion that you set for enjoyment. And permission to do the generosity without looking over your shoulder. Was I irresponsible?
That's right.
And permission to do the investing without feeling like I'm Scrooge McDuck counting my coins.
That's right. That's right.
And so I love that, where we allocate a percentage. I use it. We teach it to high income people all the time. But it works for anybody in 4, 5, and 6 on any amount of overage. It could be 1,000. It could be 10,000 overage, whatever it is. Good suggestion, Jade. Well done. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to save up to 40% off everything site-wide. Go to Blinds.com for more information. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. James is in Santa Cruz, California. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. I am a new listener. My radio station just picked you guys up, and a couple of questions on credit scores. We had bankruptcy years and years ago, and we've just been working real hard on bringing our credit up, and now we're in the 800s. And I heard you the other day saying that isn't that important. So I'm just trying to find out about credit ratings.
Yeah. So, James, well, number one, thanks for listening, and thanks for even being open to what we're talking about here. The thing with the credit score is it's all about your interaction with debt. And since you have started listening, we are of the camp that there's no such thing as good debt, right? We want you to pay off your debt. And when you do pay off your debt, your credit score goes to zero. After time, usually it's about a year that passes, and it will go down to zero if you have no debt on the record. And for a lot of people, yourself included, I think that is completely new information. It's like, wow, I didn't know that was possible. And it makes people a little bit nervous because our whole lives, the culture is telling us you need to have credit score, you need to have good credit score, and you need a credit score to get all the things that you want in life. But when you really do look at that score, it's about how much debt you have, how long you've interacted with that debt, what types of debt do you have, right? The history of your debt, what percentage of your debt that you're using. That's all they care about.
And it's only good for one thing, and that's to help you get more debt.
Right.
It's not an indication that you have a high net worth, a high income. It's not an indication you're winning with money.
Right.
It's an indication you're winning with debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a false measure of winning is our point. And do we want to purposefully destroy it if you've got an 800? No. But the only way you've got an 800 is since you filed bankruptcy years ago is, after the bankruptcy, you've had a lot of positive interaction with debt, meaning you borrowed, paid it back on time or early, and you didn't get into crazy amounts of debt, I hope. Usually you don't get an 800 if you're way over leveraged.
Right.
And usually you don't get an 800 if you've got a bunch of wrong kinds of debt. I mean, if you had, by wrong kinds, I mean the super dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not all credit card debt or it's not all whatever. But I mean, you've been living a fairly normal consumer life and have paid everything earlier on time. Am I right?
Yeah. And, we have 4 vehicles. Everything's paid off.
Mm-hmm.
We have, credit cards, but I mean, we pay them off every month.
Right.
And the only...
But you didn't always, or you wouldn't have an 800.
No. Correct.
The cars weren't always paid off, and the credit cards weren't always paid off every month, or you would not have an 800.
Right. The only thing we have is our mortgage, and I had just looked it up yesterday, and it's worth like 1.2, and we owe 19, so it's like a $687,000 in equity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, way to go. Way to go.
We have 2 kids. Our girl is the last 2 years at Cal Poly.
Yeah.
So we're paying their tuition.
What's your household income?
The wife is around 125, and I'm self-employed. I actually retired this last December, which doesn't feel like it because I'm still working.
Yeah.
And,
what do you make? What do you make?
I'm on paper. I'm about 20 to 30.
Okay. So let me. Here's the premise. You're a brand new listener. The thing that we've discovered, and I've lived, and we have taught now for 30 years on this show, is the shortest, fastest way to an extremely stable, wealthy enjoyment of money is to become and stay debt-free, because that frees up your income. It takes away the risk of problems, and you're living in a fairly risk-free environment right now. You have nothing left but a very small mortgage, and relative to the value. And your wife has a good income. You guys you've been very careful, calm, wise. You've not done anything super stupid here. You've done a good job, a very good job. And so it doesn't, in your mind right now, this idea of living without debt completely, it's not that radical because you're almost there.
Basically.
Right.
And then the point being, do you want to go back into debt? If you want to go back into debt, I would argue with you. Mm-hmm. If you want to go back into debt, you should protect that credit score because it's the easiest way to go into debt. But if you're not going to borrow anymore and you're just going to build wealth, and the next time you get ready to buy a car or put a kid in school, you're going to figure out a way to write a check to do that, and you're not going to borrow money, then your need for an 800 credit score is very low.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to worry about it. It's not doing anything wrong. It's just sitting there. And there's no sense in, like I said, we don't need to shoot it or something.
Yeah.
It's not. We don't want to destroy it. But I'm not going to sit and fret like most of Americans do about, oh God, it dropped 10 points. Who gives a crap?
Who
I mean,
cares?
it doesn't matter. You're not using it. It has only one use, and that's to borrow more money.
Debt. Yeah.
And if you decide, like I decided 30 years ago, and you've been moving this way before you even met us, James, you've been moving towards being debt-free and hopefully staying that way. If you decide I'm going to stay that way, then you have no use for a credit score.
Right. Yeah, and the further you walk down the path, the easier it gets, right? When you first start out, you've got a bunch of debt, and there's, more risk in your life. You're thinking, well, a lot of people erroneously think, I need a credit card. What if something happens? It's my safety net. And then they start to realize and get their confidence of, wait a minute, I can use my own money. I don't need this credit score. And the further you get down that line to where maybe the only thing you have left is your mortgage, then it's like, yeah, what do I need a credit score for? I've got everything, and I was able, and now I have all this extra cash because I don't have payments. So if I do need something, I can easily stack up the cash to pay cash. I don't need debt.
That's it.
It's out.
Once you know that, then you don't need a score.
Yeah, that's right.
James, thanks for being a brand new listener. Caleb is in Charleston, West Virginia. Hi, Caleb. How are you?
I'm great, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I do reside in Charleston, West Virginia. I own a roofing company.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming up on just over 2.5 years in business.
Mm-hmm.
And fairly healthy. We will be projected about $2.2 million in revenue
Good
this
job.
Year.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. And we've accumulated a decent amount of money. I've got actually just checked it this morning, around $303,000 and change in the bank, but it is just sitting in the bank. So I can give you a little bit more details of kind of our family. We've got two young girls, and it's when you work pretty hard for, that type of money, you seem to, keep it closer to your chest. And I don't know if I'm doing, this service to myself as well as the family if we don't pick up a little bit, and be more aggressive in.
Well, you need an emergency fund at home. You need retained earnings at the office. You need some money, some cash at the office for operations, for growth, for buying things. So you don't use a line of credit at the office, that kind of stuff. So I keep a retained earnings fund here at Ramsey, all right? And then at home, I've got an emergency fund. So some of that $300 will be allocated to those two things. The rest of it should be either used to pay off debt or to invest, or both, depending on where you are in the baby steps.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the baby steps?
I am familiar.
Okay. Where are you? Are you out of debt?
No, and you're probably with the type of money, and again, it's one of those things where it's sometimes hard to give up some of the money that I've worked and
you already gave it up when you bought the item with debt. You just hadn't admitted it yet.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Do you have? I mean, you did $2.2 million in revenue, but did you guys take out debt on the business?
No, the business has zero debt at all.
Okay,
What's the debt that you're ashamed of that you don't want to talk about?
$130,000 in my mortgage.
Oh, is that all?
Oh.
Is that all?
I have $130,000 mortgage.
That's it.
That's not. That's no biggie.
Pay it off, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh God, pay that off today. Good Lord.
I thought he was gonna drop a bomb on us, Dave.
I thought you were gonna tell me you had an $80,000 truck.
Uh-huh.
I really did.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, pay off that mortgage, man, today.
Great. Ooh,
nothing to be
exciting
ashamed of.
stuff.
Yeah, and then you still got
$150,000.
$180,000. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is the Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Brian is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hi, Brian. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yeah, so my wife and I, we are both 25 years old. We got roughly $35,000 in debt, and that is pretty well just consumed in vehicles. I got a truck, and she got a SUV. We got our first child on the way, and we are just looking for some advice as far as getting out of debt and stopping living paycheck to paycheck.
So you've got $35,000 in two separate cars. Can you just break that down for me right quick?
Yep. So the truck, we have about $12,500 that we owe.
Uh-huh.
And whatever the remaining balance is from that is what my wife owes on the vehicle.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm. And so what's your income?
So our combined income, it varies a little bit because I am full commission sales. However, combined, we gross roughly $120,000 a year.
Okay, $120,000 a year.
Good for you.
That is good. You know, when I look at $35,000 in cars, I don't think with your income, I'm not like, oh my gosh, you guys are out of control. But I am wondering, where is your income going? And my first question to you is if you're on a budget or not.
So we are not. And we actually just started the baby steps. So we paid off. We got our emergency fund. We paid off our smallest debt just last week, and so
baby on the way.
We need to get a budget together because it's kind of a deal where, you know, every paycheck, it's like, where the heck's our money going?
Yeah. So I think you've got a lot going on in your life. You've got this debt. You want to get it cleared up. You've got a baby coming up. You want to get that cleared up. What I want to tell you is I know you want to get out of debt, and that's good. But during this time, what I really want you focused on is just piling up as much money as you possibly can.
Until baby comes.
Yes, because when the baby gets here, everything's going to be fine. The wife's going to be fine. That's the goal, right? Like, that's the hope, wish, and want. And so when the baby gets here, everybody's healthy. Then you can take that big chunk of money and attack these cars in order smallest to largest. Okay. So we're hit the truck first.
You should have more than enough to pay off her car the day baby comes home from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
and put a I mean, not her car.
Way.
Well, either car. You might have the 22,000, but you definitely have the 12,000. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So pile it up as big as you can pile it. Start your debt snowball hard and fast with that big pile of cash. Is what Jade's saying when the baby comes home. In the meantime, I like just having a big pile of cash when a baby's on the way.
Yes. And that's kind of what I was wondering is, I don't want the baby to show up and then we have no money.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm not worried about you being able to feed the baby. You can do that on 120.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, in case there's a little medical hiccup or something, you want to concentrate on baby and on mommy, not on dad.
That's right.
So, having no money with a baby on the way is scary. So let's just pile it up, get on that written detailed budget, use that Every Dollar app. You and your wife sit down, lay out where every dollar is going to go every month before the month begins. Every dollar has an assignment. Every dollar has a name. Every dollar has a mission. Yeah. You both agree to it. You pinky swear and spit shake, and you freaking stick to it.
Yeah, because at the very least, you're going to hit that deductible, and you're going to have to pay that out of pocket, which depending on your insurance could be pretty high if you've got a high deductible plan. So you're at least going to hit that with the baby.
Yeah, you're going to have that, and and we want to pay a car or two off.
Yeah.
So it would be very cool. And how much money can you save in 9 months?
Yeah.
I mean, $9,000, $10,000. I mean,
hey, let me ask you something about that. So somebody mentioned if you're having a baby, going into the hospital up front, that there's an advantage to going in and paying up front for the delivery cost.
If you don't have insurance.
Only if you don't have insurance.
Yeah, if you have insurance, it's all settled.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't change anything because the insurance company's already cut the deal.
Does it
They have a baby cost X deal.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the insurance company does. But if you've got, I don't know, let's just say labor and delivery is $12,000 as an example. I don't know what it is. I haven't paid in a long, long time. But let's just say that's probably about what it is, give or take right now. And if you did not have insurance, which would be highly unusual in today's world. It would be.
That's why I was trying to get around that.
If you did not have insurance, it's a very interesting thing with hospitals. It's the only time you go to the hospital that you're glad.
That's true.
So babies are good PR for hospitals.
Well,
people come there, and everybody that comes about the baby's happy, and the baby's happy.
Well, Mama's not glad until after the fact.
I don't mean that, but I mean it is a celebratory event.
That's right.
It's not having your appendix out, okay? It's not. It's not having your knee replacement surgery done. It's not your mother died of gallbladder disease. There, it's not that. It's not. People go to hospitals to die. It's not that, right? It's the only time that it's a happy story.
That's right.
And so hospitals want people to have babies there.
Yeah, it's good
because it's a good thing for them from a PR perspective. It puts good vibes into the community, right? Mm-hmm. So with all that in mind, you can go in ahead of time and negotiate and prepay, and they'll cut as much as half off.
That's pretty.
In labor and delivery. They probably will do it on other procedures, but they're known for doing it industry-wide on labor and delivery. So, which tells us that we're paying too much through insurance, but our insurance is paying it, but we're paying the insurance, and there we go. But anyway,
the way mine was, the doctor's office set up your whatever your deductible was, and they were like, you pay half now, you pay this much, and then by the time the baby was done, you had already done it.
Yep.
And
and it really wasn't optional. It's a program. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, this would have been a while, pre-Obamacare. Yeah. As an example, there were more people walking around without insurance.
That's right.
Now they just pay twice as much for it. But there were more people walking around without insurance in those days. Uh-huh. So you could go in and pre-negotiate. And, we had great success with that back in the day. I don't know how much that would apply today because I don't know how often somebody actually goes into a hospital for labor and delivery without insurance. It'd be
That's true.
Rare.
That's true.
Austin is in Jackson, Miss. Hi, Austin. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Hey, Austin, you're going to hang on until the next break. I just looked up and saw the time. Sorry about that. I'm not going to try to answer your question in 15 or 20 seconds here.
Yeah.
That doesn't work at all. So I suspect if you had elective surgeries that were not insurance covered, that you probably could also go in ahead of time and say, if I prepay, what kind of deal will you give me? And I'm shopping other locations to do this, elective surgery.
That's true. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So, I mean, even something, again, something that would not be insurance covered that has not been dictated. But, yeah, I suspect you could do that there as well because you've got choices then. You don't have to do it. B, you certainly don't have to do it there.
That's right.
And so, again, your walk-away power from a negotiation standpoint is intact. This is The Ramsey Show. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Austin is in Jackson, Mississippi. Hey, Austin, how are you? Austin, are you with me?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How can we help?
I hope you both are doing well today. So I recently, probably within the last few weeks, stumbled upon your content, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around I have a 6% salary match, 401k, and I'm trying to wrap my head around foregoing that and putting in straight into debt. And I was looking for an explanation.
That's a great question. It means you're being very thoughtful about all of this. Very well done. Mm-hmm. So what do you do for a living?
So I am actually a purchasing manager for a mine.
Okay. And so you have a degree in business, possibly?
Yes.
Okay, good. I thought so. So because you're good at seeing the math thing right in front of you and going, well, that seems dumb. So here's a couple of things that we discovered, and I honestly, doing this for 30 years, 25 years ago, I was backing into some of these ideas because I come from the same academic background, but back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, that you came from, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so my first tendency is to nerd out and fix everything with math.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured out in personal finance that the data of best practices among millionaires doesn't necessarily follow math all the time.
That's right.
In other words, personal finance is more personal than it is finance. It's more behavior than it is math. Mm-hmm. And so what we've discovered over the decades of doing this is that, in other words, here's an example. The power of exclusively focusing all of your money energy, your arithmetic energy, on one goal for a short period of time supersedes the employer match.
Yeah.
The power of focus, although that's a little bit nebulous and hard to put a math figure to, we've proven that over a decade, getting clear of consumer debt very, very quickly increases the probability that you actually do it, number one. Mm-hmm. But number two, it gets you out of debt and frees up then your most powerful wealth-building tool, which is your income. When you bifurcate your focuses, meaning you spread them out, when you spread out light, it merely lights a room. When you focus it, you can do surgery or manufacture things with it, called a laser. And what we're doing here is, for a short period of time, not an extended period of time, the theory doesn't stand up and the hypothesis doesn't stand up over a long period of time. But for 3 years or less, if you forgo a match and forgo all investing, and in lieu of that, they have this tremendous emotion and psychological focus on the singular goal of becoming debt-free, and then you stay out of debt for the rest of your life, you not only get the match, you get to max out all of these retirements, and it ends up being, 15 years later, the shortest path to becoming a millionaire. Although the short-term math of missing out on that match, for someone like you, Austin, or me, that was trained in Nerdville, it feels blasphemous, doesn't it?
I understand what you're saying. I feel like I'm stepping over dimes to pick up pennies almost.
When you take the match, you are.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's better to direct my approach towards one thing as opposed to try and spread my avenues out, which hasn't worked for the past however many years I've been going at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me give you another example, because it's a great discussion for everyone to listen in on this conversation, because this comes up a lot, and it's a real valid question and a valid discussion. But here's the other thing: if you don't get out of debt, and you don't change your mindset about debt, and you languish in consumer debt for 10 years because simultaneously you're trying to invest, then what you've done is you've completely disabled the wealth building mechanism. And so by simply increasing the probability of becoming and staying debt free by shortening the term, you've increased the probability of wealth dramatically. In other words, you can't half but do the get out of debt and half but do the investing thing at the same time and ever get this right.
Yeah.
You never get clear of it. That's what ends up happening. And so man, I get tripped up on the math thing. Here's another, the debt snowball versus, I was on a podcast the other day with a young lady in our space, Erica, very smart lady, and she used the debt avalanche to pay off, she's a lawyer, pay off her law school debt. And she was talking to me about that. And I said, yeah, but you're a highly disciplined valedictorian law student, okay? Yeah. You're an unusual human being. Most of us are normal human beings. We have to see the feedback loop of getting the little one paid off and sensing some success and traction, which keeps me plugged in. The psychological feedback loop supersedes the math change. And here's the thing. The probability of completing the debt avalanche is 1/10.
Yeah.
The probability of completing the debt snowball.
Yes.
In other words, 9 out of 10 people that start that snowball complete it, 1 out of 10 on the avalanche complete it, or whatever the number is. But the completion probability is not figured into the stupid math equation when someone says, oh, you should pay off the highest interest rate first. I use the debt avalanche, which means you've been on TikTok, not in reality. That's what that means. And so, again, behavior trumps math when you do it on the short term, because our behaviors are what caused the debt in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I look at it, I think about it, if you look at it as like a football field, right? And let's say debt's in the end zone. If you run straight, you're getting there faster. But if you zigzag a yard here, then zigzag a yard there, and then I'm going to put 5 over here on this one, and it takes you forever to get to the end zone.
That's exactly right. Run
it straight up the middle, all the way.
And take the yardage you can get.
Take it.
And then play the next play.
That's right.
And then play the next play. Just straight down the middle. Run it up the gut. That's exactly what we're talking about. But the other thing that we don't, even us math nerds, because this, I've been teaching it based on behavior for 25, almost 30 years. So I understand it. I believe it. And I've got 10 million people that have done
That's
it.
Right.
So I've got the proof text that I'm right.
Yeah.
But it still messes with my brain.
That's funny. It didn't, I'll be honest with you, that was the one thing that didn't mess with my brain much.
But you came out of the music background, the artist background. You just went, this is how to do it, do it.
Yeah, that is true.
There's one way to play that song.
Yeah, and
There's
this is the way.
Ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that song if you play it 2 ways. It's a different song.
That is true.
Yeah. And so this is, but the math thing is, you cannot, and it's the mistake that the financial world has made. All of the financial planning world and all of the investing world and all of the insurance world, they try to do everything based exclusively on math in a behavior-based world.
Yeah, they forget about mindset. They forget about behavior.
If we were only doing math, no one would have credit card debt.
Facts.
Because it's mathematically absurd. If we were only doing math, no one would borrow $250,000 to get a degree in left-handed puppetry.
Come on, Dave. I know that's right.
If we were only doing math. But this is not about math. No one would go into debt to go to a college campus because they have a good football team.
Isn't that funny, Dave, how the math matters
until it doesn't matter.
Right. When we don't want it to matter because we get something, it doesn't matter. But then when it's like, wait, If
we were doing math, we wouldn't
yeah.
buy a car that has a toxic plastic smell in it called new car smell and watch the depreciation happen when we drive it off the lot.
That's right.
When you hear that sound when you go off the lot, bloom, bloom, when you break the curb, that was the sound of $10,000 leaving your net worth. You know, I mean, but if we were doing math, we would never do that.
No.
But we smell the toxic smell and go, oh my God, this is wonderful. Smell the leather. No, it's not leather. It's carcinogens. You're getting cancer right now. I'm just, oh my God. Unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, if we were doing math, we wouldn't do almost anything that we stupid human beings do out there. Austin, that was a great question. You're awesome. Thank you for asking that question. But the answer is don't solve a behavior-based problem with a math-based solution. Ding, ding. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is a show where we talk about your life. Oh, your life. Right in front of you. And we unpack all of it. And we're generally really nice about it. I tell you, even if we're tough, it's just because we love you.
That's right.
And we want you to win. Ben is with us. Ben is in Meridian, Mississippi. Hi, Ben. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hello, thanks for taking my call.
Sure, what's up?
So as of this time next week, we will be baby step 6 complete.
Wahoo!
Ding, ding, look at you. Baby step 7 is what that means, right?
Etc.
Wait a minute, let me stop.
He tried to just breeze past that.
Wait a minute. You finish baby step 6 next week. You mean baby step 7, you got your house paid off?
We will pay it off next Tuesday or Wednesday when Mr. Schwab gives us our money.
Hey!
Well, come on, Mr. Schwab. Here we go, baby. Love it. Congratulations, awesome. Ben. How much is the house worth?
Worth hopefully about $450.
Cool.
Great.
How much in your retirement accounts?
About $100 in 401k, and then pulling some of these investments in a big savings account to pay it off.
All right. Good for you. All right. How's that feel?
Palms are sweaty just thinking about it.
You're going to love it. If you hate it, you can go get you another mortgage. But you'll be all right.
No,
I love it, man. All right. How can we help you today?
So we also have other money set aside for sinking fund. Our house is 15 years old. We expect things like HVAC, water heaters, things like that to come. Is that simple savings account type money, or is that investment money?
I would not put that as investment money. I think the idea when you know you have things coming up and you want to do sinking funds, that's separate. Even from your, emergency fund, that's separate.
Yeah, you can use the EveryDollar app to create a breakdown of the sinking funds. For instance, let's say you had an emergency fund and then you had a high yield savings account that you dump all the sinking funds into.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you say the EveryDollar app will keep up with, okay, there's $10,000 in there, $4,000 is for air conditioner future, $1,000 is for Christmas, and so on, to where the $10,000, none of it is vague, it all has a name. In that one high-yield savings account, you can break it down in the EveryDollar app, right? That's how you do it?
That's right. Yep, you do it as funds. The only time I would think about something that's investable is if it was years and years down the line. Like maybe you have this dream of renovating a room in your house and it's 5 or 6 or 7 years down the line, something like that.
Yeah, or Ben, I'll tell you when I did it in addition to that. Okay, so I'm not talking sinking. This is not a sinking fund. This was just extra investing. Mm-hmm. And what I was doing was I was saving to buy my first rental with cash after we went broke and had a house that was paid off. So I just started throwing that in an S&P 500 index fund. And it would just sit there and churn until there was enough to buy a rental. And then I would throw all the rental income net of expenses and any other money I could find into an index fund until I had enough money to buy another rental. And then every time I did that, I had more rental income going into there. So pretty quick, those houses started buying other houses. But and rental properties started buying other rental properties. But that's the only time I did it. Other than that, just a high yield savings for stuff like air conditioner, roof replacement, Christmas, next car, that kind of stuff. I would just use a high yield savings separate from your emergency fund, but you can keep it named inside of every dollar, broken down.
Yeah, that's a really good differential. And I think, Dave, you and I were on the show a couple of days back and we talked about that. Your emergency fund, like if you want to have some savings, like, sinking fund type stuff, that is totally separate from your emergency fund. Your emergency fund is only for actual emergencies, and I would not
keep them
put those
physically
in the
separate.
same. Yeah, I would not put those in the same savings account.
No, because otherwise a bass boat will turn into an emergency.
Oh yeah.
It's like and who says it's not? But it is. But it's like, of course it is. I need a larger motor. Those bass keep outrunning me. That's it.
Right.
So they're fast little critters. But so yeah, that's the thing. And but you look down and you go, hey, the boat I was thinking about, I had $10,000 saved for, or $25,000. I really want to buy $5,000 more, and reach over and pull it out of the emergency fund. Without even half thinking, because it's not in the same account, it makes it hard to do that. It'll keep your butt from doing it.
That's right. It sure will.
Because my wife will amputate my hand if I reach towards that account.
I call that, I call that Uncle Boo Boo.
Uncle Boo Boo.
Yeah. We all have an uncle who convinces us to make the worst possible financial decisions.
The dumb little guy sitting on your shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Like the little devil on your shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Boo Boo.
Yeah, he'll look at that money together and say, "Oh, that looks like you have enough money to go to my wedding in the Caribbean." Next thing you know.
This sounds like this happened, Jay. Did that really?
I know. Look.
That sounded like that really happened. Just then, I sensed that you went to a Caribbean wedding at some point that you wished you hadn't.
He will convince you.
I saw that. Uncle Boo Boo. Uncle Boo Boo is a persuasive sales guy. I didn't know him before, but I think I know him.
He sells whole life insurance. He only buys new cars because he thinks they're good investments.
He owns a payday lender.
That's right.
What a jerk. Yeah. James is in Chesapeake, Virginia. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yeah, so let me give you a little rundown. I'm 19 years old. I'm an electrician, and I make just over $40,000 a year.
Cool.
And, of course, drive a company vehicle with that as well.
Very good.
I've had some, I guess a couple people, but one in particular mention about credit cards. I don't have a credit card, don't intend on getting one, and I guess I should say won't get one, but with the credit cards, I've had somebody say that when they use them, they're like a fraud protection, not because you need the cash back or for the actual, because you don't have money and you've got to pay it in advance, and you don't have the money now, but you could pay it at the end of the month. What is the fraud protection, or why is it, I guess, okay to use a credit card because of the fraud protection?
There's a lot of lies out there that have been spread about this by people who love credit cards, James. So you can look it up for yourself. It's not hard. If you pull up Visa and MasterCard's fraud protection on their website, both of them use this language, okay? You have a zero liability in the event of fraud for credit card use as fraud. Visa and MasterCard, no MasterCard product, no Visa product of any kind, credit card or debit card, allows someone to misuse your number and the bank charge you for it. So if there's online fraud, if someone steals your number, if someone steals your card and uses it, you are not liable. You have a zero liability with a debit card or a credit card with Visa, and you can look it up on their website. Mm-hmm. It has big old capital letters, zero liability policy on their agreement, their cardholder agreement. So the idea that a credit card has more fraud protection than a debit card is simply not true. It's someone that doesn't know what they're talking about.
Okay.
You can look it up. I mean, it's really, you just pull up zero fraud protection on debit card. It's right there. It pops up anywhere. I mean, Google will put it right in your face. So it's not even hard to research this and find it out. But people hear some doober talking about, I get airline miles and I get fraud protection, and no one should ever recommend a debit card because it doesn't have fraud protection. And they heard some moron on TikTok say that, and so they believe the moron on TikTok instead of actually looking up the credit card agreement or the debit card agreement. It's universal. In order for it to have the little MasterCard or Visa symbol on the front of it, whether it be a credit card or a debit card, the issuing bank has to abide by the agreement with Visa and MasterCard and provide a zero liability in the event of fraud.
There you have it.
Ding, ding, done. Yeah, it's over.
I've never had a problem using a debit card. And if somebody did, I've never, ever had a problem with them giving my money back.
I've never even had it. I mean, it gets shut down with the stupid fraud algorithms, but so the credit cards.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Did you make this charge? Yes, I was in Mexico, okay? But, oh, my God. You know, I have to call and we have to call and notify our bank if we're leaving the country because they immediately assume someone stole our number, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's the world we live in because there's fraudsters everywhere. But either way, you're protected in the event someone actually did use it. We actually did have somebody hit my card, come to think of it, and the bank just put the money back instantly.
That's right.
But they can wait 2 or 3 days, but they generally don't.
Yeah.
This is the Ramsey Show. Scripture of the day, Proverbs 13:11. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Like investing and stuff. Oh, there you go. Bob Hope said, a bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it. I miss people like Bob Hope. Oh, I'm so old. I love it. Wow. All right. Cody is in Montgomery, Alabama. Hi, Cody. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm a 21-year-old college kid, and I'll be graduating this May with zero debt.
Way to go.
I've had the honor. Well, I have to pay credit to my parents. They've really helped me out with this, and they've seen the damage that student loans can do.
Wow, wonderful.
So, me and my girlfriend have been together for 6 years now, and we're both in nursing, and we're projected to graduate together in May. And we're expecting to make 120 to 140 our first year combined.
You're not combined. You're a girlfriend.
Well, yeah, that's to come, though. I plan on getting married before all this is over.
Okay.
When?
Okay.
Like before graduation? Is that what you're saying?
Shortly after.
Oh, okay.
Good for you. Okay, fun.
So
what a great life.
My parents, thank you. My parents are going to allow me to live at home and save all this money so I can adjust to this new job before I jump out and start making a bunch of crazy decisions. And my girlfriend, she doesn't really want to do that. She wants to maybe stay at home for 6 months. I'd like to stay home for a year and save all my money so I can have an accurate down payment on a house. And I wanted to ask you, should I put down larger than the 20% that you recommend and put the excess in investments? Or
okay, I'm a little bit confused. Are you getting married and the two of you moving in with your parents?
No. So shortly after we're going to live at home separately. I mean, she lives basically right down the street from me the first year. That's my plan.
So you're not getting married right after graduation?
No, it'll be within that year, though.
But
it'll be within that year.
If the point of waiting to get married is so that you can do this house and down payment, that wouldn't be a reason for me.
No.
I don't, you know what I mean? I feel like what you're trying to do is create like this perfect scenario.
You've been together 6 freaking years. You're going to go live in your mother's basement to save money to be one more year before you actually marry the girl?
Yeah.
No, not a chance, dude. Y'all go get married. Get you an apartment this summer.
Okay.
Get married in May, start life in an apartment, start piling up money. If it takes you a year or two to buy a house, you're going to be making, you're both nurses. Oh my gosh, it's a wonderful career field.
right.
You can work as much as you want to work, save up money. Don't worry about a house. You can buy a house after a year, buy a house after 2 years. I don't care. You're still going to be 25 years old, be a homeowner and be debt free, everything but the house.
I know that's right.
You can be very smart and very married.
I appreciate it. And I have one more question. We're both we love the idea of being a travel nurse, and we'd like to do that after about 3 years of experience. So 3 years after graduation, we're going to try to go all over the country and do that for about 2 to 3 years. Should I be renting, or should I buy a house before I leave and try to rent it out?
If I knew that I was wanting to be a travel nurse and travel all around the world, even more reason to just get an apartment and hang out there until you're ready to settle.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy while you're traveling. If you're going to travel for 3 years, why don't you do that early? Why do you have to wait? You have to have experience to do that?
Yeah, the field usually requires 1 to 2 years. Some of the rules have changed with COVID, but that's still what we're seeing.
Yeah, with the nursing shortage after the Fauci pandemic, that's a thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, the nurses, it was... Whew, man, we had some nurses coming in here. We had one lady. You remember that lady? I don't remember if you were on the air with me or who was. We did a debt-free scream. It was a travel nurse, and she made COVID year.
Oh, yeah.
She made like $550,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
She worked all the OT, and they were paying like triple time because, wow, because you guys. Yeah. I mean, you were the hot commodity then, and you are still, because there's now a shortage because so many people left over, vaccine requirements, mask requirements, other things. They left the industry. They got out of it, and so now there's a shortage, and now the hospitals have this weird thing. They forgot that they ran all their talent off, and
that's right.
Now they're oh God, we were stupid. Who knew? But yeah, we were requiring everyone to be vaccinated, and people didn't want to do it, and so we fired them. Oh, yeah, that's us. Yeah, and wow. Okay, yeah. So if you can go on the road, the sooner you can go on the road and make bank, I would call that your early adventure.
Yeah.
The two of you get married, may pass your bars, and go on the road and go make 300 or 400 between the two of you, not 120 between the two of you.
That beats Mama's basement all day.
Ding, ding.
You know?
Got to tell you, beating Mama's basement is a low bar, though.
Hey, it comes with free meals.
That is still a low bar. Love you, Mama. Love you, Mama. Not coming. All right. Mama and them. That's a Southern thing right there.
That's
all
right.
Tracy is with us in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Tracy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Jade. It's so good to talk to you both.
You too. What's up?
Thank you. I need some Warshaw Ramsey math magic, please.
Let's go.
We'll give it a shot.
Okay, so here's my background. In April of 2022, I purchased a home in New Mexico. However, due to medical reasons, I had to return to Oregon, and I'll be staying here. So as of now, the home is with a property management business, and it's currently rented short-term. And so here's the numbers I have for you. I purchased it for $380,000 with $120 down at 4.9% in April of last year. It's currently valued, just looking online at Zillow, for $60,000 less than what I paid for it already.
Zillow's not dependable.
I know.
What city are you in?
I get it. Alamogordo, which is out in the middle of nowhere, but there is a military base nearby. I put $50K in upgrades, and my question is, should I sell it or leave it as a rental in hopes that it continues to be occupied, or sell it at a really big loss? And it rents for $2,500 a month. My mortgage is $1,700 a month. So with the property management fee, that gives me about $550. I'm not looking to make money. I just want to break even, but it doesn't look like I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Number one, I want to get better facts. So what I would do is go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Ramsey Trusted Real Estate Agents, the endorsed local providers. Have one of them go do a comparative market analysis, a CMA on it, which is basically a realtor appraisal, and let's find out what the house is really worth, and find out if the bloodbath you think you have is really real. Because that changes everything. I mean, you think you're going to lose $50,000, turns out you're going to lose $5,000.
Right.
It changes the discussion, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, $5,000, I'm out of here. Make $5,000, I'm out of here. Okay. But
Right.
generally speaking, nationwide, houses have not dropped that much.
Yeah. What do we think would have, if this is true, what do we think would have caused that other than you
Then she
overpaying
overpaid.
initially?
She got in the fever and overpaid. You got in the tail.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I did. Because I sold my house here in Portland to move down there and made a killing. So, I mean, people were doing the same thing on that end. Is they were getting what they could for the houses, and there wasn't much of a market. So I had to buy a house at the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy it where it was valued. It appraised at that. I had to go through the VA, so it appraised at that. So, but it's just the market has fallen there. And
It's possible that a unique micro market, the macro market nationwide has not dropped,
Right.
but the some of the individual markets have, and some of the individual markets have increased still substantially because there's still shortage of housing. So it's possible that, but I would want to do something more than Zillow to make the decision. I'd want solid info.
Yeah,
So
'cause
get
Zillow
a good
trips.
Ramsey real estate agent, a good Ramsey trusted real estate agent to go out there and walk you through this. And they'll tell you, I think if you'll hold on 6 months, this market will rebound based on things that are happening in that local economy. I don't know.
No, I definitely wouldn't listen to Zillow.
But, well, I mean, not as my sole arbitrator.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be accurate. Sometimes it is, but it's just not. They use algorithms. They're not using actual CMAs.
Yeah.
And so it's not slamming Zillow. It's just a
No,
matter of,
I get it.
It's a mass-produced thing. So anyway, look at that and then decide if you can stomach the loss or not, and if you want to. There's not a wrong answer unless it's putting you in a pinch today. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.